why you're here, because they're making, as they should, a big deal about the fact that Ralphie has come home. Everybody knows Peter Billingsley, of course, around these parts from A Christmas Story.
Yeah.
And the Greater Cleveland Film Commission is doing a Christmas Story Fan Expo.
That's right.
This weekend. And, of course, you're far too humble to say it, probably, but you're like the megawatt attraction for this thing, yeah? When they go, well, Peter Billingsley's coming.
It's been 40 years, so there's a lot of build-up to this event, I think. You know, we shot the movie here originally 40 years ago. The house on Cleveland Street in the movie is here, as many residents know, is now a museum.
Yeah, just got sold.
It did just get sold to an undisclosed, and I'll just happy to clear it up here. I did not purchase it, if that was one of your questions.
I also did not purchase it.
Yeah. It's not going to be
Did you
Billingsley.
purchase it, Alan?
I did not, no. I just want to
clear that up
clarify
for
it
the
wasn't
fans,
going to be
please.
Billingsley Manor or anything like that.
That was not the intention.
Yeah, okay.
No.
So it's going to be 40 years exactly next weekend. It came out like right before Thanksgiving, didn't it, that year?
Correct.
Yeah.
And so we did the sequel 2 years ago.
Okay.
And, you know, a lot of the cast got together. We sort of saw each other, never quite on set at the same time as production is. And we really wanted to do a kind of reunion event. And
this was A Christmas Story Christmas is what it was called.
Correct.
Yeah, it was on HBO.
That's right. And so with the 40th coming up, we said, let's do it. And there was no place other than right here in Cleveland that we wanted to come and do it.
Yeah.
And it's just, you know, I always refer to Cleveland as a partner in the original film. Just, it was a low-budget movie, and the city gave us the Christmas decorations in downtown.
Yeah.
Where Higbee's was, which I've learned is now Jack's Casino.
Okay. You're right over there. Yeah.
So still in the commerce business, but a little bit of a
shift.
Pivot.
A pivot, yeah,
slightly.
sure. Yeah.
Not as many kids there.
Probably not anymore.
I mean,
so many extras came out.
Yeah.
You know, it was like a community event. And so to partner with the Greater Cleveland Film Commission, this is a fundraising event for them. And they really support shooting in the state. They provide a lot of jobs. They help drive the economy. So it really felt like the perfect fit for us. And selfishly, we wanted to come back here and connect with the fans, meet the fans, and just have a chance to say hi.
I feel like a bit of a heretic because I've mentioned it on this show many times because it's so beloved here. I've never seen the entire film. I've never watched A Christmas Story from front to back. I've seen so many snippets, and I've been here 13 years now, and the references go so deep that I feel as though I've seen the entire thing.
I think that's probably true. And if not, you probably hear it quoted on the street. So you
on the street, but I know
what
what they're talking about.
That's
I mean, it's rare that you'll go past a house around Christmas time in Northeast Ohio and not see a leg lamp, and you know. But you came from an acting family, yeah?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
No, I started in New York City. In the 1970s doing commercials.
But like as a kid.
As a 2.5-year-old.
There you go.
And this was long before the business was the business now with social media stars and brands and everything. It was kind of a fun thing to do.
Right.
And the
you were the only 2-year-old going out for auditions.
Maybe you could get a commercial. The first commercial I got was a commercial for Geritol.
Okay.
And I stood there.
You were like the revert. You were the before and they were the after.
And the mom's like, with kids like this, you got to take Geritol twice a day or something. So, and I was a pain in the ass on the set too. I remember I saw the camera and I threw a truck at it because I was terrified.
Right.
Director's like, you're not going to last long. Be careful. I was like, all right. And they gave me candy.
Yeah.
A couple pieces of candy, and I chilled out. And then I was great.
You were they gave you the exact opposite of the sugar high. The candy calmed you down. Yeah, that's great. That was a gamble that paid off.
It was like the perfect bribe.
Yeah, but there had to have been a period in your childhood as an actor where it was basically you and Ricky Schroeder going out for everything.
It's funny because I did go out for the Champ, which he did, and I didn't get it. And then
what about Little Lord Fauntleroy?
No, Little Lord Fauntleroy didn't. I went out for Stand By Me for Jerry O'Connell's role.
Okay.
Almost got that. Will Wheaton went out for Christmas Story. We all there was
all those actors
just
of the
rotation.
same age. Yeah.
And whenever I see one of them, we all remember, like, all right, so I got Christmas Story. He got that. Everyone kind of got a great one. But there was a posse of us, and then these movies would come up that seemed cool, and you would do a screen test for them.
Yeah.
Which is just so nerve-wracking because they tell you, hey, if you get dismissed early, don't worry. It doesn't mean anything, and we knew
it means
that's
something.
Not what you don't want to do.
Right. Yeah, it's
they'd
not
be like,
school,
"Oh no, we're just doing other chemistry groups." I was like, "Oh damn, I didn't get it."
Right, but I remember you on Real People.
Yes,
I loved that show when that was on. I hope
that was fun.
Flashing forward now, I hope that Byron Allen is an investor in your production company.
Byron Allen,
he's a billionaire
has
now.
anyone done better in business than that guy?
Smart dude.
It's incredible. It really is.
And
I think he offered to buy ABC. Did you read that?
He's offered to buy
not just small companies.
Yeah. big company.
He's like, I'll be happy to take.
But I mean, I remember the reason I asked about acting families. I remember your sister on a television
show. Yeah,
when I was a kid.
Wow.
Because she was, I don't even remember what it was called.
Me and Max?
Me and Max.
Yeah.
Because my dad was a big Rockford Files fan.
Okay.
And you and I are probably about the same age. I'm 52.
Yep.
And my dad was a big Rockford Files fan. And Joe Santos was the actor. And I think NBC wanted to give him his own vehicle.
That's right.
And so it was this show.
And he did, yes.
And I
so
saw
my
your sister
started acting a little bit after I did. It sort of got into the family blood, so to speak, I think. And there was kind of a path forward of how to do it.
Yeah. But you guys also kind of had that all-American cherubic kind of look, right? You guys had the look that they were looking for then.
I think that's right. Yeah. And, never really formally trained, just kind of natural, I guess. And but it was always fun. Yeah. And, we had really good parents who made sure that it was fun and it was not, we weren't earning for the family.
Yeah. Had the family made the move to L.A. or could you do it all in New York?
We never made. We started in New York and then went to Phoenix when I was like 10, and then we just commute. So I had a very normal childhood. Yeah. Which was great. And you could, I think, even bring that to roles. Like you weren't in that bubble.
So by the time A Christmas Story comes around, you've got some bona fides. I mean, it's not your first movie, but it's not your 10th. You had a few.
I had done a lot. I did a movie called Paternity with Burt Reynolds. Yeah. A big movie. Bomb. Did a movie directed by John Schlesinger, Honky Tonk Freeway. Yeah. Bomb. Yeah. I was sort of the bomb guy.
Paternity bombed?
Paternity did not do at all, and he was
I thought Burt Reynolds. I was going to say, I thought he could do no wrong back then.
He did apparently if I was in the film. So I was like,
you're like Burt, that kid though.
Yeah, exactly. Box office poison as a young man.
I was known as the cooler.
Yeah.
So then, so it was a really different movie in the sense that those movies were big hype movies. They were like, kid, you're going to be a star. This thing's going to blow the lid off. None of them performed. And this one was just, there was sort of no hype. These guys Bob Clark and Gene Shepard took close to 12 years to get this movie made. Yeah. Nobody wanted to finance it.
Right.
Bob had to throw his salary into the movie to get it done. Like, it was a real labor of love. He had to agree to do other movies for MGM at the time to do this.
People have no idea, even to this day, all the machinations that go on behind the scenes with people getting movies. They don't realize the financing is the hardest thing to get a movie done.
And it's everything.
It's amazing any movie gets made.
Yeah, because it's more money than you can just generate for yourself to finance the movie to do it. And, on paper, this thing, I look back at the original script, like the one they were shopping, and it's been edited since. The first 5 pages are voiceover. Yeah. It's like, this thing's not leaping off the page like, we got to finance this. And then add to it, it's 1940s, and the central question is a 9-year-old wanting a BB gun? Yeah. Like,
was A Christmas Story, was it a sleeper, or did it come out of the gate when it was?
No, it did not come out of the gate at all. It underperformed, I think, after all that effort. There was good hopes for it. It did fine.
Because a lot of time, it's a failure of marketing. Sometimes people just can't get their arms around the premise. A movie like that, that's not a hard one to get your head around. It's a period piece, kind of. And,
you know what? And I'll say this to your audience. Go Google the original trailer for A Christmas Story. It is unrecognizable.
Are you in it?
Oh yeah, it's sort of the whole thing.
Oh, you mean how they first cut the
they didn't really
sold
do
great
movie. Trailers back then either. Trailers were all very strange.
They did what a lot of studios do. They panicked. Yeah. So they had a movie that was probably a bit of a feathered fish. It's an oddball movie. It was good. It tested well, Bob told me. But they panicked. They made it like this crazy, dysfunctional, wonky music. Everything was like a bang hit. Nothing but the bullies chasing me with bizarre VO. But it looked like nothing resembling the movie.
Yeah. So at what point do you decide, because I know you had consistently worked, even to this day, consistently act, when you decide to start producing things, is that something you kind of fell into? Was it something where you're
something I always wanted to do.
Yeah, okay.
And growing up on sets had a good advantage in the sense that I had spent a lot of time there. And Bob Clark was amazingly helpful to me as a mentor. And I went to him around 18 and said, look, I really want to transition. And he said, go get in the edit room. And he was totally right. He said, that's where you'll learn all the mistakes you made on set. You'll learn how movies are made. Yep. And they all come to life there.
Have you directed?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
I directed a film called Couples Retreat.
Okay. Oh, with Favreau and those guys? Okay, I didn't realize that. Yeah. That was a good movie.
I've been business partners with Vince for a long time. We've had the good fortune to make a lot of movies together. And so I was able to learn the business really in the edit room. Yeah. And it was really on the advice of Bob. And he continued to advise me and was just a really great friend.
Well, they say that the editor is quietly the most important person that's where a movie is made or destroyed is in the editing room.
It's true, and we call it the final rewrite. And I mean, just the amount you can bend a movie. You talk about how hard it is to finance it. people don't realize how much movies change in the edit room from what you wanted to do, and you're like, ooh, that didn't work.
Yeah.
Now what can we do?
Hard pivot here because I'm just thinking of it. Were you at the Challenger explosion?
I was.
I was watching a 30th anniversary retrospective on the History Channel. This would have 2016, I guess, is the 30th anniversary. And there was just a bunch of newsreel footage. And they had a clip of you doing something with NASA or something. And you were there when that happened.
I was with Chris McCall's son. I was a spokesperson for a group called the Young Astronauts.
Okay.
It was because I'd had a little bit of fame. They deemed me as a spokesperson to help encourage math and science through schools and kids. And when Krista was to have landed, we were going to do a huge national media tour. Oof. And so I was invited down to do that. And there's a really good documentary.
You're what, like 12? Oh, how old are you?
Probably a little older because I looked young, 14, something like that. Okay. I think it was 86, so 14, 15.
Right. Not a situation you were prepared to handle as the spokesperson for the Young Astronauts Association.
No, and then was asked to go on the Today Show the following morning, live from Phoenix, and got a call that night that said, this comes from Reagan, who was the president at the time, said, you need to go and talk.
Yeah.
So it was a crazy course.
Were you there like on like the bleachers? Or were you there with the Sun at the time?
Yeah, you're there on the bleachers and the press.
Yeah.
Is all there. There's a good documentary that 4-part documentary series came out a couple years ago that guys did on it. And I did an interview. It's the first public interview I'd ever really done on it since then.
Yeah.
But it's a good piece that they did on it, and it sort of takes you through the whole journey of it.
The Greater Cleveland Film Commission, all the work they do. This is a...
I got a couple quick questions.
I'm not wrapping up. I'm just kind of, I want to reset with people. The Christmas Story Fan Expo, it's a fundraiser for the Film Commission. It is tomorrow, it is Saturday, it is Sunday. The film will turn 40 next weekend. Clevelandfilm.com for all the details. Where does this happen? Playhouse Square? Down the street or Public Hall?
This is happening at Public Hall and Public Auditorium. So Friday night, we're doing a big cast expo, so it's going to be all the entire kid cast, plus Black Bart, plus the elves, plus some of the other kids from the classroom, and Al Roker's flying in to moderate that panel, which is super fun. So you can buy tickets to that, and then also Friday, Saturday, Sunday in the hall, we're going to be doing meet and greets and photo ops with fans and just probably seeing all the costumes and things that they're wearing.
Awesome.
And just really a chance to connect with fans, say thank you to Cleveland for everything that they did for the film, and just kind of have a chance to look back after 40 years and tell some stories and share some nice moments.
Yeah. Bill?
Okay, so in Christmas Story, and I know this is 40 years ago, I don't know how much you remember, but when you are about to get in the fight with Scott Farkas, and you are, like, you are in that moment, you're crying, how did you get there? Like, as an actor, a child actor, how'd you get that upset? Did they step on your toes or something? Or
no,
they stopped giving you candy.
They try stuff like that.
Yeah.
I had cried a lot of movies because for some reason kids crying is fun in films.
Right.
I guess it makes
well, in that moment,
movies.
it's not necessarily fun, but it sets up the whole moment.
But it's compelling to watch, right? So you kind of learn how to do it.
Think about if you had gotten the champ. You would have been crying nonstop.
But I remember there were a couple times, because my process was, I would say, okay, just can you get the set quiet? Let me go on the side. I'll get worked up. When I walk in, start rolling.
Roll, yeah.
Right? And you don't have to say anything. You just do this and roll, and then I'll be ready to go. And sometimes it doesn't come, and it just takes a minute. But the crew would get frustrated because they want to get moving.
Yeah.
You got some little kid holding up shooting here. They're like, yeah, Jesus.
It's a union job.
Right, totally. Like, let's go. I don't want to stay late. And then they would try the, hey, we're going to kill your dog. And I was like, all right, look.
That kind of takes you more out of it than
completely. I'm like, first of all,
like, you don't realize I hate my dog.
Yeah. Right. This is not my first rodeo.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Give me my space.
Yeah.
And then when it comes to the soap that they used to, that's a kind of a long scene.
Yes.
Was it real soap or was it something?
Do you have a guess what it was?
I mean, I've always just believed that it's soap. So I
love that everyone believes that it was wax.
Okay.
Wax.
Which is really smart.
Yeah.
Because if you buy a candle, it doesn't really taste like anything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, it's fine. Remember those wax bottles?
Oh, yeah, sure, yeah.
Right? It's perfectly fine. So they did a nice job with that.
I was such a dummy that when I was a kid, I thought you were supposed to drink the stuff out of the wax bottle and then eat the wax bottle. So
we all did.
Yeah. Oh, is that? Okay, good. Well, we know
all
better.
did at least once.
Yeah, we all know better.
And you mentioned the voiceover. That there's so many scenes in that film where you have to do a lot of work just with your emotions and your facial expressions, and then the voiceover is telling the story. But that must have been different than what you would have experienced.
100% different, yes.
Because
and they had
so much storytelling through your face.
Right, and they had planned like to do long shots with that voiceover, knowing they weren't going to make an edit. So like the camera and my performance had to sync, and Bob Clark was really smart. He read it in the cadence that he knew it was going to be put in post. And this was before video tap, right now where everyone sits behind a monitor, most filmmakers. So the director's right up next to the lens. So he was right up next to the lens reading it, but then it gives you something to play. In fact, in the sequel, I did the same thing. We had a guy there locally who we hired and said, you've got to read this voiceover, and then we would direct him to, because otherwise you're just trying to imagine too much, and it really helps when you have something to play off, especially when it's supposed to be your internal thoughts.
Monologue,
Yeah.
And also, you have great pipes now, too. From, little kid Ralphie, your voice is fantastic. Just hearing it in the headphones and stuff. So it's like
years of smoking, probably.
Yeah, but hey, whatever gets the job done.
A good radio career, I've heard.
Yeah, that's right.
Did you smoke? All right, you're hired.
You hear that, kids? Smoking can really pay off.
Yeah, for your radio career.
Yeah. Everybody's like, go to broadcasting school. Nah, just smoke.
Smoke 2 packs a day.
Anything else, William, before I
mean, I'm a huge fan of the movie. I'm excited for this expo. And
are you guys going to come out?
I'm going to try to come out,
yeah.
I'm going to be around on Saturday night, so I'm going to try and pop over afterwards.
Yeah, you can buy tickets in advance or just show up and come on in.
Clevelandfilm.com has got all the details. Film Commission is presenting this Christmas Story Fan Expo. It's tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday, Public Hall and Public Auditorium. Peter Billingsley, he's an actor. He's a producer. He's in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
That's right.
Don't sleep on that. And just as a final plea from me to you, please bring back Dinner for Five. Because boy, did I love that show.
Thank you. I think find them on YouTube. Farvo I think
there's like a DVD thing or something.
There is. Yeah.
Get it on Amazon. Great to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you.
Thank you for doing this. Yeah, have fun over there. I got $1,000 to give to you here. A little bit late, but we'll do it here. It's a grand courtesy of the Buzzard Bookie. Listen closely and good luck.
This is your chance to bet with the Buzzard Bookie and win $1,000 now. Enter this nationwide keyword at WMMS.com. Check. That's check. Enter it now at WMMS.com. The Alan Cox Show on 100.7 WMMS. And everywhere you go on our free iHeartRadio app. Rover's Morning Glory.
Peter, you love football, played football. You ever think about being a high school football coach or something when you retire from here?
Yeah, in college and then in the